Welcome back to Focus on the Falls. I'm John Mercure. Excited to be joined by a couple student members of the school board here in Menominee Falls. Sara Booher, who is a senior, and Sahil Shah. Sahil, thank you so much for being with us. Sara, thank you for being with us. All right, let's talk about this. I want to talk about the school board in a second, but I'm fascinated as high school students to talk about your experience and what it's been like last spring, but more so this fall as we've come back. Sara, I'll start with you as a senior. It's so different. What's the adjustment been like?
Right. So senior year is that year where you're really wrapping everything up, taking the last few classes that you wanted to do, celebrating with your friends. And it's been a change this year, but I wouldn't say that we've lost any of that experience. It is different doing classes virtually, getting to know your classmates virtually and your teachers virtually. I myself am in the hybrid model, so I do have some of that face-to-face interaction and have gotten to connect with classmates and teachers. But that virtual classroom has been really engaging. I've been taking electives in new subjects, exploring new subjects, learning different things from my home, which is something I never thought would be possible. And we're also finding ways to connect through clubs, sports, activities. I haven't felt limited as I feared I might. It has been really conducive to a learning environment, to a collaborative environment. We are all just progressing forward and adapting with each other. So it's been pretty amazing as a senior to have my last year be in this really strange environment, but
You'll have something to talk about
right.
down the road.
I'll always have a story to talk about. Right.
What are the two electives that you're taking?
Sure. So I'm in Exploring World Cultures, which is a presentation-based class. So we are diving into the cultures of different countries and sharing that out to the class. And then my other one is ceramics.
How do you do ceramics?
It has been fantastic. Our teacher, Mrs. Ganier, has done a great job. She makes these bins of supplies we take home every day when we go from in-person to virtual to distance learning. So I have my bin with my clay, all of my tools, and I'm going home and have my workshop set up in the basement, and I've made some mugs and some potters and all different sort of interesting things
That's
in
fascinating.
my basement. Yeah.
Sahil, what's been the biggest difference when you think about where you were a year and a half ago at school and where we are now in this world? What are some of the thoughts that come to mind?
Well, just like the whole virtual model is really different to me, like not being able to be in class every day. I mean, it takes a toll on you sometimes, like it's harder to ask questions, it's harder to be like more interactive with the class. But overall, it's been going well. One thing I do miss is back like last year, we were able to do like more hands-on activities or like work with groups since everyone was in class. This year, we're not able to do as much, but teachers are still finding a way to do that kind of stuff. For example, in my business law class, we did a mock trial in the room, and she just brought everybody, whether you were a B day student or an A day student, into this room, and she just spread everyone out. So that was nice.
You're closer to the snacks at home. I mean, the
Yeah,
pantry is
that's
like
true.
right around the corner.
And you get to sleep in a little more, so that's nice.
All right, you're both involved in things outside the classroom. I wanted to make sure I got to that part of it. Sara, you play basketball. Is basketball going to happen? Are you guys able to practice? How's that playing out?
Sure. So far, we're moving full steam ahead. We have open gyms about 3 or 4 times a week that are being led by our seniors. And we've had great turnout. We have a lot of freshmen who are new to the program coming every day, being engaged every week, which is something we were worried about. It's a weird year to recruit new members to join the program, but we have seen just tremendous turnout from all the different classes with people who still want to be engaged in the sports they love and the activities they love. So that has been, obviously basketball is a sport where contact and maintaining social distancing is very tough to do. But we found ways. Everyone's wearing masks the entire practice.
That must be different.
It's different. But the more you practice, the more it becomes part of the game. It's just another part of the game now. And we've been able to do what we would do in a normal open gym season with no holds barred, with the exception of course, wearing those masks, spacing out for our water breaks.
Has the
Um,
success of the football team and how they've been able to stay healthy and other groups and organizations been a good example for how you can move forward?
Absolutely. It gives us a lot of hope as a sport with a lot of contact that football has been so successful in mitigating some of their risk, that we have the hope that our season can hopefully be as successful as theirs was. So it's been the model of the football team that has allowed a lot of other sports like basketball, like wrestling, to have a role model to look up to see this is what we need to do if we want to have a season like the football team. So
Sahil, what are a couple things outside of the classroom that you're involved in and how have they been impacted?
So I'm on the soccer team. So we just had our fall season. It went really well actually. We had to cancel some games because the other schools were going through some quarantining. But for us, the season went really smoothly. Almost no positive cases through the season. We got very lucky with that. But yeah, just it was hard because the good thing about soccer though is it's outside, so it's less of a risk. So that was nice. But yeah, you would have to wear a mask on the sideline, mask when you're warming up. We did not play during the game with masks because we just thought that would be too hard.
Yeah.
But on the bus, everywhere else you'd have to wear a mask and be socially distant. But it was good that we were able to pull off a full season.
I was excited to talk to you guys and focus on the falls because I wanted to get your perspective as student school board members. Because during this crazy time, the school board, the administration, they've been working like crazy to keep the district safe and to make sure we still learn and to do all those things. And you guys have a front row seat. I'll start with the same question to both of you. Why is it important that you get involved at this level? Most kids will never be on the school board. You've decided to step forward and do that. Why is that an important part of the process for you? I'll start with you, Sara.
sure. So this is my second year in this position. So last year I was focused on observing, taking in as much as I can. The leadership of the school board is a really unique one. Not only are they concerned with the village and the community, but they have a vested interest in this community here at the school with the students and the teachers. And as that year came to a close, in March, being a part of those strategic meetings, listening in, seeing how that plan was developed for the lockdown, and now transitioning into this year where I've seen from the beginning our initial reactions to what happened and now to having this tremendous system set up with virtual distance models, hybrid models, finding ways to move more people in person in a synchronous environment has been such an amazing transition. And as someone who's been interested in politics and in community engagement, this is such a good case study in leadership during times of crisis, in times where everything is constantly changing and adapting. So for me to A, be able to observe that, and B, give the student perspective on that is a pretty incredible experience. The student perspective is invaluable as we're making these decisions. So for me to be one of the individuals who can give that and also facilitate other students' opinions to the board, it's been a great experience.
Sahil, you could do a lot of different things with your time and you've decided to make the commitment to be one of the student reps on the school board. Why is it important?
A lot of the same things Sarah just said. It's nice being like a student rep because you can voice your opinion to the school board and you see firsthand in the classroom like what other students think about certain stuff, like the whole hybrid model, and you can tell that to the school board to tell them it's either working well or some things to work on. So that's good. It's also just a great experience for me because I'm also interested in politics and how the community works. So seeing like what all goes into like the decisions the school board makes is really cool to me.
And the board really listens to you guys, right? I mean,
Yeah.
They seek out your input. You're not just at a little table down in the corner of the room. You
Right.
really actually have input with the board.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so a lot of times they like listen to us to see like what's going on in the high school and how the students feel about the hybrid model and stuff like that.
Sara, do you feel like you've had a real voice in giving the perspective on how students feel about things and direction and strategy and things like that?
Absolutely. So we, just like all the other members of the board, we have a seat at the table.
Literally, you're at the table.
Literally, we're at the table. And we, as discussions, whether it be about COVID metrics or about other policies and procedures, will be asked to chime in on certain topics. But we also always have the ability to raise our hands and turn on our mics and give perspective. We can't vote as we aren't elected, but we are able to discuss any of the topics that are being brought up at the meetings. So that has been a unique experience, and we're always looking for more ways to engage, find ways to get the student perspective out there. So as we both grow and learn more about the school board, I'm hoping that we'll be able to give even more of a student perspective and find ways to engage the entire student body to give their opinion to the school board as well.
Do you have the chance to, I'm asking you about your input to the board, to give your input to your colleagues when you're talking about, and every kid talks about, my gosh, are we going to go back to school, or how are they deciding this? You have the perspective that you can go to your colleagues as a leader and say, well, I'm part of these discussions, and it is collaborative and they do care about what we're saying. That discussion must be interesting.
It is. And going into my second year here, I very much enjoy talking to my teachers, talking to my fellow peers about what happened at the board meeting last night. There are questions I'd like to, I'll be texting with my friends or whatever and asking if they have any questions for the board so I can bring it up at the meeting, or just relaying information as I hear it firsthand. Being able to relay that to my friends, to my peers is important, and I'm hoping that that is keeping the students engaged with the board and understanding what's happening at those Monday night meetings.
Sahil, why is it so valuable that there be student representation on the board?
Just so like the board members and the superintendent have like firsthand information on how the students feel about certain issues, like so we get to like voice our opinion for example, like how the hybrid model's going, or what new students feel about the mascot, stuff like that. For example, like, and also for me to talk to the students too, like sometimes people will be like, I don't understand why we just can't go fully back, when I'll just tell them like, last night at the board meeting we looked at the cases and we looked at how cases have been increasing and why we can't just fully go back, but we can still do this hybrid model.
I want to thank you guys for chatting with me, but most importantly, thank you for your involvement, your commitment to make the district a better place, to have a voice. Thank you so much for what you do on behalf of the community and the students that you represent on the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sara Booher and Sahil Shah, thank you so much for being with us on Focus on the Falls.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we're going to wrap this edition up. If you'd like more information on the district, go to the district website. There's lots of really, really good stuff there. You can also check out Falls Cable Access, their website, for more information as well. I'm John Mercure. Thanks for being with us.